Hello and welcome to Tech Basement. On today's show we have Matt Dunfee. Matt, welcome.
Hello, thanks for having me. This is quite a privilege.
Yeah, so it's great for you to be here. You're the Global COO for Presales. We'll get into what that means, but this is your first trip to Australia.
It is.
And has anything surprised you about coming here?
I'll tell you, nothing surprised me, but I am just blown away by the scenery. I mean, this is one of the most beautiful places I've ever been to. And coupled with just the sheer sight of the ocean and the bay and the harbor and everything is the people. And usually in this cases where you have a melting pot of people, there's a sense of, people are inapproachable, people are a little distant, maybe not even very likable in some cases. But in here, everybody is genuinely honest, easy to talk with, happy that you're here and very complimentary of being here. I mean, everybody loves to share their experiences with Australia and how great of a place it is. And I don't know if I should be surprised by that.
I'm glad.
Not, but I don't know what my expectations were. But everybody's just so nice, friendly, and accommodating. It's been absolutely outstanding. So
cool.
Thanks for having me.
Right.
So we always ask another question to all our guests.
Oh boy, here we go.
Yeah, this is a tough one. So growing up, what was your favorite gaming console and why?
So that brings back some memories. You dust the cobwebs off to answer that question. And I will say my biggest memories, and actually the first gaming console was Atari.
2600. Yeah.
First we started with the big one. Now you're getting really technical on me. I don't remember the model names. But we started with the really big one. I'll never forget, for Christmas one year, I got the small one. It looked like a Frisbee. Mm-hmm. It was really small and tiny. But the best thing about it was there were some of the best times with my dad that I had growing up. A lot of kids are playing baseball and sports and doing all that kind of father-son bonding. But for me, we would literally sit down at night and play Breakout. Breakout was our favorite
That was the game?
That was the game.
Okay.
And we would sit on our beanbag chairs in the basement and we
cool.
would play Breakout for a few minutes
Cool.
before.
I do that with my kids. And it's
Still beanbag chairs.
I still have it in Australia. See, that's a great place.
All right, so let's get on to more about your role. So Chad's the talking head, and I mean that in the utmost respect for Chad, because we love the guy. But you run the show behind the scenes. So tell us what that's all about.
No, I mean, he is a talking head, but his voice is very loud, and it's very influential. And when we
his emails are long.
And his emails are long, so we've taken a few lessons on that.
Do you proofread those?
We've tried to shrink that down a little bit, but we have failed miserably.
Okay.
So we just learn to accept it.
Yeah.
But, when it comes to driving new things that the SE community and the technical community across the industry, and even more importantly, our customers need, that EMC is not delivering today, Chad is an unbelievable voice to get things done.
Yeah.
So if you've experienced some of the things that you've struggled with in Australia, whether it's a product feature or capability or delivering new consumption models with some of our traditional products, it's not an easy feat. Yeah. And when you have a voice as loud as him to be able to get things done, that's awesome. So my role has really been funneling a lot of that feedback and making a difference, making a change, and trying to improve the livelihood and the productivity and the capabilities of our pre-sales team so that, in turn, you can be more effective with our customers. Yeah. And as a result, our customer experience will be much greater and much better, and they'll be customers for life, because not just because of the great technology, but the great expertise and the people of EMC.
Well, it's an awesome team you're building and great capabilities. And I love what's been coming down the line in the last couple of years around productivity, enablement. The tools we have been phenomenal, haven't they? So.
Yeah, and what do you see, speaking of getting things done, like the upcoming year, lots of changes coming down the pipe for us at EMC, and what do you see from the global SE population, just some initiatives and cool things happening?
Yeah, I'll tell you, in times of change, it's always the best opportunity to do things different. Yeah. And where people typically at EMC, even right now, are saying, well, we're on pause, we don't want to do anything, it's not the time, we'll wait through the Dell EMC dust to settle, and everything just comes to a screeching halt. And we've done the complete opposite. We've used this as a vehicle to get things done that we've known have needed to be done for a long time. Yeah. And so we're driving a lot of new initiatives around mobile technologies, new platforms, new systems and tools that will help make the SE community more capable and put the power in their hands to be more conversant with their customers.
I know from our end, it seems like it's going a million miles an hour, so
I
can see there's lots of changes, but great stuff.
But we're introducing new education platform, which is changing the way that we consume knowledge.
So on that, and I remember team members last year saying, you've got to stop telling me what I've got to learn, right? Some of the stuff I know, some of the stuff I don't need. And I think like most companies, we've had a platform that's very much about, here's what I want you to know. Yeah. Right? And you're changing that.
Yeah, we're changing that based off of who knows what you need more than you? Nobody. You know what your customers want. You know what your customers are asking you to know. And to put walls and boundaries around that isn't doing you and your customer a disservice. Yeah. And at the end of the day, we don't necessarily, everybody learns differently. So we don't necessarily prescribe something that says, well, you take these 3 modules and all of a sudden you're an expert on analytics. Yeah. The reality is there's content on YouTube, social media, blogs, podcasts, everywhere across the industry. And then, of course, EMC does have a good library of content as well. Yeah. But some people learn hands-on. Some people learn by watching a video. Some people learn by reading a white paper. Some people learn by digesting a PowerPoint. So if we can make all of the information available and do so in a way that allows them to consume it on demand as they need, when they need it, then I think we're a lot more capable as a result.
That's fantastic. And I know an area you've been working on, which is very, very sacred to the pre-sales team, laptops.
Yes.
And obviously through this change...
I wish I could take credit for it, but Michael Dell himself has chosen to invest in the pre-sales community EMC for a lot of reasons, because one, we're highly influential with our customers. And I believe, I'm passionate about it, we are the foremost technologists in the industry, especially in the data center space. So I'm a little biased. Yeah. But there's no better productivity gain than some of these new laptops.
Now, I got to see this. This is
I mean, it's the first time.
XPS 13.
So I've ordered one of these.
Look how
I know we had a choice.
Look at this thing.
This one I know is coming.
Yeah.
It looks fantastic.
Beautiful machine.
So we wanted to give a few choices because everybody has different needs, right? Yep. Some are more analytics centric and wanted a lot of horsepower with a lot of capacity to run multiple virtual machines, demos, that whole thing. So we have the robust XPS 15. And then we have the 13 that's a little bit more portable but still pretty powerful. And then the 2-in-1 for those that are looking for more Surface Pro, iPad type equivalent.
So I can keep this, right?
Well, we'll have to talk about that. But sweet machine, and I love the fact that already, right out of the gate, Dell's making ongoing investments in the people at EMC, which is fantastic.
Awesome.
So, some more questions on SEs. Like, what do you see it makes a good SE? So, if I wanted to join EMC, and what makes a good EMC, good SE in your eyes?
Yeah, I mean, that one to me is really easy. Someone who follows their own curiosity. And I know curiosity is one of those words, well, that's a little philosophical and subjective, but the fact is, if we hold people back and hold them inside of a box that says, you're supposed to know this, you need to learn this, and you're only supposed to have these conversations of this type, and you're only supposed to be an SE, you're limiting their potential, their creativity, their innovation, and their consultative capabilities. So the more that you empower them to be whatever they want to be, as long as it's relevant to EMC and relevant to their customers, it shouldn't matter. So at the end of the day, if their customers are asking them questions, they need to be able to speak competently to those questions and discuss what's going on in the industry and why. And the only way you can do that is empower them to go learn the things that they need and have the conversations that they want. And the most effective SEs at doing exactly that are ones that are genuinely passionate, curious, don't want to be held back, and want to be able to speak DevOps. They want to be able to speak Agile. They want to be able to speak analytics. They want to be able to speak cloud and the multiple derivatives of what cloud actually is. Yeah. And it can't just be, here's a VNX or Unity, here's Symmetrics, or here's Extreme IO. To me, that's table stakes.
Yeah. I know that's I think that's one of the best parts of the culture. Like, I've been here almost 13 years now, and it's always changing, and nobody's ever held me back. And I think that's like an amazing part of EMC, and I'm glad to see that everybody's behind that, and it's going to keep going.
Dean, has anybody ever come to you at EMC and said, sorry, buddy, you can't go take that training class?
Never.
Granted, there's boundaries everywhere.
But I've had SEs go, too much, no more, let me just do my job. But we've got a big philosophy on having that culture of the team is getting the training they need. They're getting the career development, not just the day-to-day job, but where they're headed.
But I think also just the enabling part, like letting us as SEs do what we're passionate about. I had a couple managers over the years say to me, just do what you want to do, right? And you'll succeed, and you'll do really well, and it's always worked out.
Intuition is a key characteristic of this company. We talked about we're at the Australia SE conference, or NZ SE conference, which has been awesome. But autonomy is one of those key themes that exists in our culture. And you can't undermine it because it's that level of empowerment that gives ultimately the keys of success and execution and capability in the hands of those closest to the customer, and those are the ones that need to be making those decisions, not me sitting behind the desk in Boston trying to predict what those in the field need.
Absolutely, and I've seen in my career at EMC a change in how we did the SE role, what it was about, who it engaged with, how we think. Where do you think it's going? Like, if you were to look out 2 or 3 years for the team now, what would you say? You need to think more about X in your job and get ahead of the curve.
So my personal opinion on that one is know less about the technology and more about your customers and their business. I think the days of being conversant and highly educated on every little detail of our platforms, while important and makes us all engineers and geeks at heart, those aren't the things that are going to help propel our customer and client base.
Man, so disk drive speeds just aren't.
I know, it's depressing as it. And trust me, there's some cool things coming. I have a little bit of insight on 3 to 5 year roadmaps of what some of these technologies that we're introducing. But at the end of the day, customers want somebody who's interested in their business, what they're trying to do as a company, where they're trying to go, and what kind of technologies EMC can provide to help deliver the outcomes they're seeking. So.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So, we talked about a good SE. What about a good SE manager? Like, what do you see? I know what I think a good SE manager is, from my point of view. But what do you see, from the SE management side?
I'll share with you a quick story. So, one of my former managers, Scott Pizer, who's the America's pre-sales leader in North America, and Latin America, and Canada. He's a great manager, very insightful. And his first meeting with his new team as he moved in the role, he showed an org chart. Right? And a typical org chart shows the manager on top, whatever level of leadership they exist, and then the subsequent teams underneath. And his org chart was him on the bottom, and the layers of leadership up to the individual contributors up above. Yeah. And to me, it was eye-opening, because to me that's the epitome of a good leader. Somebody who's supporting, enabling, helping, cultivating, building a team, not demanding, prescribing, driving, or running initiatives.
It's funny, because I've heard David Webster, who leads our team in APJ, 7-8 years ago drew a triangle, and it was the exact same story. And then he said, leadership at EMC is the upside down triangle. Supporting, coaching, mentoring. So it's interesting that throughout the world, it's kind of similar in our approach, not just in pre-sales, sales, and across the board.
You see it in the Great Place to Work surveys that we do to make sure that we are being honest with ourselves. The best, most effective leaders we have are those that are in the trenches, working with the teams to help them, support them, and allow them, enable them to be successful, not the ones that are sitting behind the desk, prescribing programs.
Yeah. All right, Matt. Well, it's been awesome. Thank you for taking the time.
Thank you for having me.
Out of time. Has Australia impressed you enough that we're going to get you back soon?
Yeah, we can get you back.
You might not only get me back for a few weeks, you might get me back permanently. So look out what you have for. I love this place that much. So it's awesome. I just need to convince my wife of it, which
all right.
Shouldn't
be a problem. Send them some photos. All right. Well, thank you, Matt Dunfee, Global COO for Presales.
Thank you for
your time.
Awesome. Thank you, everybody.
We'll catch you all soon.
Yep.